Yeah, I know.
All right, Director Wood tells me we can start. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to the Board of Directors regularly scheduled meeting for May 9th.
Recording in progress.
That was pretty good timing. For Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, we welcome you all here. If you're interested in watching these proceedings later on, please look at the Metro cable announcement on the posted agenda. With that, I'll call this meeting to order and have a roll call, please. Madam Clerk.
Yes. Director Sailors.
Present.
Director Weber.
Present.
Director Sheets.
Present.
Director Gould.
Present.
Director Wood.
Present.
Director Rice, I see he's absent. Director Jones.
Here.
Director Costa.
Present.
Director Clark.
Present.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Director Sheets, will you lead us in a pledge to the flag? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Sheets. We'll now move on to a public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district's jurisdiction. Items on or not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker forms?
I have no speaker forms, and we're checking online right now.
Would anyone like to speak to the board?
Please raise your hand.
Please raise your hand. No speakers at the moment.
It's a crushing blow. We got to do better there. Moving on to consent items. We have 2 items on the consent. Any questions about the consent?
Mr. Chair, I'll move the consent.
Okay, I have a second and a third, and I think we're good with that. I'd just like to make sure everyone's aware of the pad change and that we have staffing for a grant specialist, and we've always had great luck when we staff that area and finding grants around the country. So kudos to the staff that have made that happen and the shift that's required of that. I think that will pay off handsomely for us based on our meeting in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago. That's a brilliant move. Thank you very much for that. With a first and second, please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Sheets. President Gould.
Aye.
Director Wood.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. The consent calendar is approved.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to action items. We have one this evening, an important one and a standard one that we do about every 4 years. So everyone had a chance to look at that action item and read the recommendation. My colleagues have any questions relative to the single action item? Hearing none, seeing none, let's call the roll, please, Madam Clerk.
We need a motion and second.
Well, we already kind of did that.
I'll move.
You move?
Let's just use the ones from last time.
Jones.
All right, first and a second. Who was second? Was that?
Costa.
Okay, thank you, Director Costa. Okay,
All
Madam
right.
Clerk, go ahead and call the roll.
Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Sheets. Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Wood.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to reports. The only report I want to do is mention the fact that if I forgot to mention somebody last meeting that helped make Washington, D.C. happen, I apologize. That was a fantastic couple of days. I think this organization was well represented. I know that it was very educational, as I mentioned last time, but if I failed to mention your activity and help, I apologize. It was really, really well done. We've gone to cap for decades, and I think this is one of the showings that had a big impact. I'd like to thank our congresspersons that were there and invited us in to have a few minutes with them and their time, appreciate their work, and just wanted to say thank publicly for that. We'll now move on to Fire Chief's report.
Good evening, directors, colleagues, members of the public, family. It's good to see family here. I'm excited about your opportunity, Noah. Some congratulations is in order, and then I'm going to quickly turn it over to operations. But we've had some acknowledgements statewide for some of our employees. And congratulations to Inspector Rebecca Lita, who was recognized by the California Building Officials, CALBO, for the 23-24 Fire Official of the Year. Rebecca serves as the president of the Northern California Fire Prevention Officers. Her leadership embodies the nature of this award. So Rebecca, congratulations. And also, last night I was able to attend with Chief Wernicke, Chief Mitchell, and I. We attended the 2023 California EMS Awards in Napa. Where Battalion Chief, no surprise, Battalion Chief Scott Perryman was recognized by the California Emergency Medical Services Authority for his distinguished service that has significantly impacted statewide EMS and as a trailblazer in mobile integrated health. He was recognized, awarded by the entire state. His recognition was also notarized that our efforts at Metro Fire are leading the nation in this effort, and it's making significant improvements to not only APOD and wall times, as we all know, but to mental health and our homeless. So congratulations to Chief Perryman. No surprise there in those innovations. So into my report unless you have any questions.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you very much. We'll move on. Chief Mitchell on the ops report.
Thank you, President Gould. Good evening, directors, Chief House, colleagues, members of the public, and family. And true Chief Perryman form, he was the only awardee early on as they gave him his award to grab the microphone, not missing an opportunity to provide thanks to the rest of his team, and his family was there, so it was pretty fun to watch that. I'm going to try something new here, so I'm going to try to plug in my phone. Hopefully this doesn't mess this up, but we'll start off, and then hopefully that loads. So. I just needed to charge it. That's all.
Oh, you're just charging it. Well, thanks for letting us know.
I'm just kidding.
All this went, oh.
So first off, yesterday we had the annual cooperators meeting here. We hosted right here in this room, Metro Fire. This is the meeting we do every year pre-fire season. I want to say thank you to Battalion Chief Sean Graff. He did a great job. Reportedly, maybe his last one. We'll have to see, but he did a great job facilitating the meeting. Happy to say we had over 80 folks in the room from all 4 agencies here in the county, Cosumnes, Folsom, us, and Sac City, but also from CAL FIRE Nevada Yuba Placer Unit and from CAL FIRE AEU. Lots of new faces in the room. It was great to see. And again, the relationship building, external engagement opportunity, we don't let that pass by, but it's great to have those relationships built before they're at the back of the pickup truck on the incidents during the year. And it was very well attended, and we had unit chiefs here and fire chiefs and everything. It was really, really well done. So, and on that note, I'm here to announce that effective next Wednesday, May 15th at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to transition into our wildfire season response model. The whole county's doing it. Our bulldozer will start being available on a 24-hour basis later this month on the 24th. And then the Air Operations Division will come into their normal seasonal staffing to be determined pending their annual currency training being completed, but we anticipate right around the end of the month as well. It's pretty standard for where we're at this time of year. As far as when we're doing it, it's nothing abnormal to do it. We're usually a little bit in front of Memorial Day to transition, and then we bring on the copter and the dozer also in the same time. So as part of the cooperators meeting, we have somebody come in from CAL FIRE that's very knowledgeable and tells us about fuels and what they're doing. I will say we're right about average, if whatever average looks like over the last few decades, it seems like. But as far as our fuel moistures, we're running right about average, and so the grass is starting to brown up. We want to be in front of that and ready to go when the fires eventually start happening. But I will say, just looking into the future, the forecasting models are starting to say that June, July, and August-ish look pretty normal again. However, as we start moving into August, due to the transition to La Nina, we're going to see a predicted very hot August into the fall, and so anticipated that large fire growth activity through the end of the summer could be a potential. So fingers crossed that changes, but that's kind of where we're at as far as fire season go. Again, great job by the folks at CAL FIRE that come in. And the last item I have for you, if this works, is that working? There it is. Hopefully that's on your screens. So effective as of Monday the 6th, we brought Copter 3 to its new home out at Station 115. So we took delivery of the copter. The crews are currently evaluating the mechanical status, testing the systems, and training on the new airframe. We expect to see Copter 3 in service this summer sometime, allowing us again to expand our resource capabilities on those days when we really need them. Our primary focus here, mission set at home, to be able to protect the communities here in Sacramento, but also any of our partners that might have a need for our resource. That's our goal and where we're headed. So I just wanted to give you a little live action there. It looks like it worked. Thank you for the setup. So that was great. that Copter 3 is now in-house, which is great news. And then lastly tonight, we had talked a couple of months ago, we're gonna bring a service delivery update presentation to you all, the first meeting in June, to bring you up to date on all the changes that we're doing. I will say there's a number of positive things that are gonna be happening on May 13th with an additional squad and some ambulances and trying out some new pilots on the BLS front, which will be great. But I also wanted to highlight our members. Our members are continuing to do a great job on pushing us forward into the future to provide higher levels of service in the community. Obviously, our level of care we want to attain is that ALS level of care. So what I'd like to do now is call up Assistant Chief Farica to the podium to recognize one of those members right now. Chief Farica.
Good evening, President Gould, board members, Chief House and staff, colleagues and guests. Joe Furica, Assistant Chief in the Operations Division. It's always a great opportunity when I have the chance to highlight something good about our agency or one of our members. Tonight I have the opportunity to pin a badge on one of our MMP members that has upgraded from EMT to paramedic. Today is his first day working as a paramedic for Metro Fire. So Noah, please come front. I have it somewhere.
The ring bearer.
Where'd it go? All right. There it is. Yeah, otherwise, I was gonna have to give him mine. Here. So. Oh, come on, it's already. On behalf of Metro Fire, congratulations on upgrading to paramedic. I'm sure you will be an asset to our agency, and I look forward to many years of solid work from you. Thanks,
I
Chief.
think they're gonna come up front and get a picture.
Oh, you're gonna put it over this time to make me feel
sir.
short? Okay,
That back's all stretched out now.
okay, that's good. Again,
Thank
turn
you very
around,
much.
let your family get some pictures. There you go. Come on up if you want to get pictures.
Let's get out of the way.
Give us a second. Yeah, get the family. We don't need to be in it, Chief. Congratulations. Oh, now we.
Almost there, but I think it's important to recognize the importance of this tonight. But go ahead, Chief Farica.
So I wanted to just highlight something that Noah's part of. Noah's part of a small group of MMP EMTs that are working for Metro Fire who initially were ineligible to apply for our 24-2 academy, yet would be eligible before the academy begun, but wouldn't have his paramedic until later. So he missed the final filing date that originally was established. Labor and management worked collaboratively to reopen the recruitment, and Noah is the first of that group to have successfully completed paramedic school that will allow him to be eligible for the 24-2 Fire Academy. So a great opportunity for labor and management to work together to help improve our service delivery and also support our members.
Thank
In
you.
the report, thank you.
Chief, can you come back up?
Yes, sir.
First, Chief, I think it's a brilliant move when we don't lose paramedics in today's market. I think everything that we can do to continue to work to bring those folks in, because if we lose them, they're not hanging around, right? They're like NBA stars. They get picked up by whatever teams out there. And so it's brilliant that you guys saw that. I wanted to ask you in your report relative to the fire season.
Yep.
Do you see in the future, the immediate future within the next year or so, of an opportunity for us to get a federal grant for fuel mitigation? I know you and I have talked about that back in the Capitol, and I'm just concerned that there are other groups getting those federal grants for mitigation. I get it, they got a lot bigger trees than we do. But you know, every once in a while, we see a pretty ripping fire, and in locations that potentially those citizens could not afford to mitigate their own fuel. Is there an opportunity for us to look at the federal level for funds that would help those areas mitigate the fire risk? And I'm thinking in our north part, Director Shaler's in your district, there's a lot of fuel that seems to happen annually, and a lot of those people simply do not have the funds to then mitigate that. So with Mr. Fry and others on the team, I would just like us to be able to look at state or federal dollars and say, is there a way that we can help those citizens mitigate the fire risk? Because, for instance, in our most eastern part, there may be opportunities where no fire agency can get there quick enough, but with some simple dollars, we could potentially mitigate some of those fuel loads. So I just had that question.
Yeah, I
before
think
you
so.
said
Great
that.
point, Director. And it's really important to recognize that the pre-fire work is what really makes the difference. Once the incident starts, it's too late. And I do want to recognize, I know Chief Law is back here, the weed abatement program that's in the county is second to none. They do a great job of very early recognition and letting those property owners know. But to your point, sometimes we're a little bit limited on that. I'll tell you that, yes, the federal level, the state level, those opportunities are there. We talked about the grant specialist position and being able to shake that tree, if you will. I will say this, as a result of our cooperators meeting yesterday and working with our state partners, they have a new fire camp, a Ponderosa Fire Center up in Cameron Park, where they've brought on 3 additional hand crews. And because of our relationship there with Chief Brunton, they have asked and said, hey, if you've got work, we're interested. We're either free or close to free. So there's some opportunities there as well, and I know that the state partnership with the fire marshal's office there, and as well as on the federal side with the fire administrator, that we're gonna look real hard on doing some of those things. You mentioned the north area, also obviously along the Parkway and things like that, where we see those potentials. I think those are some of those opportunities, and even the fire safe councils out in the Rancho Marietta area throughout the county. So absolutely.
Excellent. Did I see 2 helicopters leave towards Woodland yesterday
Out of McClellan?
from McClellan?
You probably did. I will tell you that CAL FIRE, and part of our meeting yesterday, we have some on early season training going on. So not only are we flying our helicopters now, CAL FIRE's air base out in McClellan is starting to fly. They're bringing on their new ships, the Firehawks, and starting to do night flying as well. So we're seeing a lot more activity as we get close to fire season.
And will we have at some point 3 airworthy airships for fire suppression from the helicopters?
Yes. Yep, we'll have all 3 identical.
So hand crews coming to us, helicopters going to them on occasion?
So that's the idea.
So free is a good word.
Free is a good
Yeah,
word.
free is a great word.
Relationships result in those price points, right?
Excellent.
So
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That concludes that report?
concludes.
All right, let's move on to administrative report. Chief Bailey.
Good evening, Board of Directors, Board Chair, Fire Chief, members of the public, family, colleagues. Ty Bailey, Deputy Chief of Admin with the Administrative Branch report this evening. First and foremost, I'll start with Community Relations. Our PIO, Parker Woolborn, BC, is working with UK Media to tell the story of the rescue that occurred with Captain Lemon and Firefighter Hodge in 2022. We have an open house on June 1st, 2024 at 10 a.m. to noon. So mark your calendars for that. The career fair season at the schools has begun starting last month, and I know I haven't reported out, but April and May. And we have our firefighters going out to schools and showing our young students what we do, and also to look at the fire engines. So thanks to all the engines that are out there doing that. With summer around the corner, we're working on social media stories about bike safety, weed abatement, drowning prevention, and celebrating EMS Week, the week May 20th through the 24th. I have no updates from finance this evening. As you well know, we're all working on prelim budget, so thank you, Dave, and to your team. Training, we have the 24-1 graduation. We have 11 recruits that will be graduating on May 17th. And then on May 21st, Farah, who is our current carrier for insurance, we are hosting 2 trainings that it's called Drive to Survive on driver safety. And those are at Station 106 at 9 a.m. and the training division on the same day at 1 p.m. So that is May 21st. It's recruitment. We have the EMS systems technician that went out on May 7th. We have a logistic manager interviews May 13th, paramedic interviews for 24-2 Academy that will be held on May 13th and 14th. The Fire Inspector 1 orientation, we had a recruitment. We had 3 that were successful through that process. 1 has been offered a job and will begin the background process. Dozer Program Manager closes May 17th, and the Fire Engineer Phase 2 was completed today. Phase 3 will begin on May 20th, and so far, large majority of the people going through this process have been very successful. That's good for us. Recruitment. Recruitment and outreach, as you all know, firefighter Tim White has been busy. I want to thank Tim. He went out and is working with the Twin Rivers School District, moving forward with a CTE pathway in fire technology at Rio Linda High School. So Director Sailors, that'd be a good contact for you. They're trying to secure funding. It was originally, they're trying to get it up and running by the fall of this year. However, with funding issues, it's probably going to be delayed. However, it's been a good start, and we could work with their administration to see what we can do to assist. That's a great opportunity for us.
I talked to the fire instructor just last week at one of their SAVA events, Sacramento area
Vocational?
school. They are planning on having fire science for their SAVA school through Twin Rivers. They will be busing the kids down on Friday to Consumnes for their fire educational classes.
Well, I'll follow up with Tim, and I'll get a presentation for the board on that, because I think it's a great opportunity for us when we're looking at how can we bring local, high school graduates in local community colleges into our fire district.
Yes.
The mentor program continues to draw interest from paramedic students looking for internships. We want to thank Captain Jim Ellis. He's done a great job. He has oversight of the internship program, and he's been just working his tail off with Tim and with people around our local area, getting him into the firehouses. So I want to thank him at this time for that. He's just really doing a great job. For those of you who don't know Jim, he's quiet, but he's very, very talented, I'd say that. And he's a hard worker. So thank you very much for everything you're doing, Jim. And then last but not least, just Chief House, Tim asked to thank you for accompanying him at Sierra College at the event that was held there for Career Day. So that's all I have for my report this evening. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Okay, Director Wood.
Good day, Chief. The open house, can you tell us again where that is? I didn't see it on the website.
The open house at Station 51 will be held June 1st, 2024, 10 a.m. to noon.
Thank you.
Director Saylor?
On the May 21st event that you talked about, what station is that going to be at?
The Drive to Survive, the training will be held at Station 106 at 9 a.m.
At Station 16?
So at Station 106.
106, okay.
And that'll be at 9 a.m. It's also being held the same day at the Training Division at 1 p.m.
So from 9 to what?
It's probably 9 to 10:30 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the training division, again at what time?
Yep.
1 to something, 3, okay.
Wouldn't it be easier if you kind of got a memo or something?
Just gonna say, Chief Bailey, what I would recommend, because you're a quick talker, you're from like New Jersey. One of the things that may help us is out of the 39 that you listed out.
Yeah.
It may be helpful just to get to our board clerk and then an email to the directors so that they can see all of the ones that you went through nice and quickly, but we're a little too old to catch all of that. Of course, only speaking up.
I'm from the South, so
Only
you know.
speaking for myself.
My family's from Florida, so we talk
But you may
fast.
just, if you would, just send that. Oh, don't listen to her. If you could just send that to the board clerk and then they can get it to us. That way we'll know where all of those, there were several of them that I think the directors would like to attend.
Yeah, there's a lot there, and we did send over the information to our board clerk, so
Okay.
she can forward that information to you.
Great.
Yeah, if we were getting those for a while, I think. it
Yeah,
kinda-
that's great. Thank you very much. Any questions for the chief? All right, let's move on to support services. Chief Wagon.
I'm going to talk slowly because I don't want more homework. Good evening, President and directors, Chief House, staff, and family. Welcome this evening. Tyler Wagaman, Deputy Chief Support Services with your support report. Starting off with logistics, I'll dovetail on what Chief Bailey indicated, is that we are expecting a retirement within our logistics division. And with that date approaching, we have an internal recruitment process for the next logistics manager. So we hope by our next board meeting that we have someone identified that we can celebrate along with you. Facilities. Station 50 dormitory remodel is complete. We're just waiting on a final inspection so we can occupy that space. Station 102 modifications to support the addition of Squad 102 is coming along very well. We hope to get that completed by tomorrow. Again, just ahead of the deadline for the 13th, which is great. Station 21 had an unauthorized entry that occurred a couple of weeks ago, resulting in our facilities having to install a new sliding glass door, as well as adding some new additional security measures. Again, not something that we like occurring, and we're doing everything that we can to make sure that our facilities stay secure at all times, but unfortunately, things do happen. We hate to be reactionary, but rest assured that we have several divisions working together to maintain our security throughout the district. Station 41 has a new parking lot. New stripe and seal was just completed. Station 27 has a new HVAC that's replaced. We're just waiting on a final vent inspection. And they're going to go ahead and install a new insulation within the attic space as well. So that should help with the summer heat as it starts to roll in. Station 59 also has new seal and stripe completed. Some major projects that facilities is going to be working on upcoming will be roof repairs, Station 24, Station 21, Station 32, and some commercial carpet cleaning at Station 54, 22, and 102. On the fleet front, they're working diligently on 3 ambulances and 4 brand-new Type 5s to get them into service. And as previously mentioned, and to buy us some time for new squads, 4 brand-new squads that should be here next year. The current squads that we were using were just exhausted. And as you know, the squads are really, really busy and taking a lot of call volume from those engine companies that are assigned there. And we had to get them a stopgap unit. So we took 2 pretty decent staff vehicles, and I commend our communications staff and fleet converting those into squads. Yeah, they built them in-house, and 61 just put one into service. I saw it today. It looks amazing, looks very well. Positive feedback from the crews. And the second one is also just completed, and that will go into service at 102 when that unit is added on the 13th. Next, we have a brand new water tender, 3,000-gallon water tender that will be going into service this week, Station 66. On the communication division front, they're working on 4 brand new Type 5s. All the communication equipment is being installed as we speak. Hopefully those get in service now that we're already starting to experience some wildland fires. So I'm sure those 4 units will get quite a bit of use this summer. Lastly, and to dovetail on the operations report, we had CAL FIRE here yesterday for our annual cooperators meeting, and one component, very important component of that meeting is communications. And there's a pretty good conversation about making sure that we maintain interoperability amongst the various agencies. And one of the things that we've done with our local CAL FIRE partners is we have swapped radios with them. They have radios that are compatible to talk with us on our system, and as well as we have radios that are compatible to talk in their system. So it really depends on where the call is. So we had our communication staff here on site during that meeting reprogramming their CAL FIRE radios to make sure that when the next incident happens, just a few weeks down the road, that we're all on the same page of music and can talk to each other. So I have to thank our comm staff for coming out and being a part of that process as well. With that, that concludes my report, unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Chief Wagaman? Chief Wagaman, can you go into a little bit more detail on the, I think your words, not mine, unauthorized entry into Station 21? When was it? And then just encourage our community, when you see someone jump our fence and we're not there, see something, say something. When we start having our firehouses broken into with not only life-saving equipment, but firefighter personal equipment and goods, that's gonna cause a real problem in our community, and it's gonna make our firehouses not look very inviting. And that's exactly what we don't want. And so if you see something and go over the fence that, and he or she doesn't look like they're a professional firefighter, you have got to help us in that regard, because the men and women not only are serving you, but do not want to come back to the firehouse and see a burglary. So as I'm assuming CHPD is already on this. Do they have a suspect?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, because we will find you if we have to, and we'll figure out how to make this go away, because we cannot tolerate that. When this kind of stuff starts happening, our men and women are not gonna wanna come to the firehouse. So it's a big deal when you think it's okay for you to break into our firehouses when we're gone. Because we're gone saving somebody, right? And so that's just absolutely not tolerable. So I plead with the citizens of Citrus Heights, having a little to do with that group. If you see somebody monkeying around our firehouse that doesn't look like they belong, call. We would much rather have the CHPD go out there and mitigate that problem than have to come back to the firehouse and know that it's no longer secure, right? They steal a monitor, that sets back some stuff. Kind of fun to see how they use it. That'd be fun, okay? But let's get serious about that piece of it. It's not just a simple break in and take some candy and leave. These are big deals, and one time can cause a problem for the community. So I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but it really fires me up when we start hearing people think it's okay to break into a firehouse when the men and women are gone. No way.
And I certainly couldn't state it more passionately than you just have. It makes my blood boil, to be quite honest with you, when the crews are out risking their lives and saving lives, and they have to come back to that. It's incredibly unfortunate, and I cannot reiterate enough that it's all of our responsibility to maintain a high level of vigilance at our fire stations as well as our fire apparatus. There are times on calls where we don't have staff on the apparatus because they're handling someone else's emergency. And if there's someone in the public that sees something that seems a little out of whack, say something, call 911, call law enforcement, so we don't have this issue continue. So thank you for bringing that back up.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks for your report. Any other comments? Let's move on to Local 522. I believe we have Captain Overlander is with us today.
All right, bear with me. What's up? Good evening, President Gould, Board of Directors, Chief House, everybody at home. I apologize, Sean can't be here today. They are in SoCal in San Diego at the CPF conference. What he did want to pass on is they're down there, they were able to visit the Fire Wellness Center, tour their facility, and get some good insight on items to bring back, and they hope to report back to you with that when they're here. For those of you that I haven't met most of you, my name's Steve Oberlander. I'm a captain at Station 24 on the C shift. It's good to see Gould. Looks like he's caught up on his sleep from the last time I saw him, so.
Oh, wow.
There's not much more to report from that, so I'm here if you got any questions. If you want to come do another ride-along, it's a little different now with the squad. You can see the other side and the benefit and how much it's impacted, so.
Yeah, the food at 24 is pretty exceptional. I don't think they all want you to go, but with some appointments, perhaps. I'd encourage my colleagues to go. It is one of our slower houses, isn't it, Captain?
It could be a little busier. We like it there, though. Yeah, the food's good. It's a real firehouse, so.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you, Captain. Appreciate it.
Good? All
Yep,
right, that's all
you're
I
great.
got, if no one has questions, so.
You did awesome. Thank you. All right, let's go to committee and delegate reports. Executive committee, I have none. I will say, however, that I'm asking our legal counsel to look into the history of director compensation. Our director's compensation has been on a suspended mode for the better part of a decade. And the challenge we might run into as we look, the other day I was looking at some of our regional director positions in the fire service, and there's I think a trend that's troubling with people not willing to serve in these positions. And one of the many issues that may come from that is the fact that gas costs $5.50 a gallon. And so I just want us to at least take a look at that. No actions to be taken, but to give some of our newer members and the entire board an idea of historically what that means. It doesn't mean we're all gonna walk out of here with $5,000 a meeting. But it does say we've got to keep at least a recognition that people who serve for a lot of different reasons. But I think we've got to at least take a look at that. And we've kind of pushed it aside, but I think at least this year we ought to take a look at it and see where we're at. So we don't run into the same issue of not having anyone willing to serve on this board down the road. So with that, that ends my report. We'll go with Comm Center JPA.
No report tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Finance and Audit Committee, Director Jones.
Thank you, Director Gould. Our next meeting's May 23rd, 5:30 in these chambers. Thank you.
Okay, and I guess we're getting ready for at least prelim budget? Is that what's coming down the road for that group? Thank you very much for that.
Now,
Director
don't
Costa-
scare
Oh,
people off now. This is good.
That's great, Director Jones. Director Costa, I know that you couldn't be at the policy. I think Director Saylor, did you manage that meeting?
Yes, I did,
Could
sir.
you report out for us, please?
Thank you. Tonight, the policy committee met and we took presentation from HR Manager Melissa Maddox on 2 revised administration policies. One on the reinstatement rehire policy, and the other one was on the revised sick leave policy. Both of these policies have had to be revised, brought up to date, basically. They do not need to come before the board. They have just been brought up to date because of some law changes to California sick leave, and the rehire policy needed to be also brought up to date. They do not need to come before the whole board. That's my report.
Thank you, Director Saylor. Director Costa, I know there was a lot of rumor they missed you dearly.
Did they? Oh, that's
Yeah,
good to hear, yeah.
they
Did
opened
a
the
great
meeting
job,
with that
thanks.
comment. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go to our board member questions and comments. We'll start to my left, Director Costa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to congratulate the 2 award recipients from the team. And Chief, I want to thank you again for your leadership. As we heard tonight, leaning in and working with management and our union partners is really trying to find ways to, address issues and move things forward. So thank you for all your efforts there. And
Thank you. Director Jones.
Thank you. I don't have a report. I have a request, please. I would like to take you up on that offer of the squad ride-along, because I'm very interested to see how that's working, and I'd very much appreciate it. Please feel free to contact Marnie, and we'll hook up in the next couple weeks if it works out for everybody's schedule. I'm here. I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Saylor. Okay, Director Weber.
The only comment I have, if I could just get the Convolt combination for the diesel tank at 21. I'll be fine. Other than that, no, I'm fine.
He's the exact kind of thing I'm talking about. See something, say something. See Director Weber's diesel pulled up to that tank. Say something. Anything else, Director Weber? Thank you very much. Director Clark.
No comment tonight.
Okay.
Well, I have a comment. Yes, I really want to thank the men and women of Metro Fire for the high level of service that they provide to the community. It's outstanding, and Chief, your leadership is reflected in a lot of the things that are going on these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Clark. Appreciate that. Director Sheets.
Just a few comments. Congratulations, Noah. I want to acknowledge the accomplishment. I also want to acknowledge your family for some of the sacrifices that they might have had to support you through it. It's no easy feat, so congratulations. I will echo the sentiments from our chiefs regarding Chief Perryman. He'll always be PA Perryman to me. I had the privilege of working with him side by side. It is not surprising. He is one of the most empathetic and true healthcare individuals that I've been privileged to work with. When I would see Scott was working, it was always going to be a good day. So just want to acknowledge that, and looking forward to the graduation and having 11 new members join our amazing team. And again, thank you for your leadership. That's all.
Thank you, Director Sheets. Director Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll echo what was said earlier and just going to add just a reminder that the Burn Institute's one of their bigger fundraisers of the year. Luau on the Link, Saturday, June 29, over at Hagan Oaks Park. We do need firefighter volunteers, so anyone out there that can take the time off and be there to help sell some raffle tickets, reach out to them. ffburn.org is a website, and reach out to Kristen Graham. And I do expect to see a number of my board members there represented as well. So look forward to that. And thank you again for everything. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director Wood. Appreciate that. Just a couple of things as we close tonight. We're going to go into closed session. You know the mantra. We do not want to see your beautiful faces when we come back. The other thing is, we sit here at this level and we get a lot of information. There's a lot of things going on in our organization that never make it to the board. And I want to acknowledge anyone who's participating in any function in this organization. You're valued by us. What you do is valued by us. It may never come to us as a presentation, but every single one of the employees in this organization play a critical role. And we just want to celebrate you, right? Because what you do makes our job that much easier. This young man that just advanced in his career makes our job that much easier as he provides that advanced level care in the community. So I just am always in awe of everything that goes on. And when you sit in this position, you get just another reminder of just all the balls that are in the air, so to speak. And some of them we'll never know about here. But we want to let you know we're aware of it and we appreciate it in a massive way. Thank you to all you professionals. You make this job as an elected official so much easier because we never have to worry about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. I will say again, it fries me when I hear that people are willing to break into a firehouse. I can't think of a more sacred place, maybe a church, where you break into our firehouses. That needs to go to the top of the police department's lists because it's just unacceptable behavior. I hope they find the individual that is responsible and hold them to the full extent of the law, because if that starts, we got bigger problems in our community. We've got to get that individual locked up and put away where they belong, right? And if it's you, and you just by happen to chance watch metrocable.com, we're going to find you. And it ain't going to be pretty, because when that stuff starts to happen, bad things in our community happen, and that's unacceptable to me. With that, we're going to go to closed session. Please go home and see your family. Give them a hug for me.